Hey guys, it is, what's today's date? Karen, what's today's date?
January 1st, 2021.
That's right, it's the first day of a new year. And we are making, what do you want to make today, Scarlett?
Enchiladas.
Enchiladas, that's right. And we did, a couple days ago, we did a pork butt on the smoker. So I have some pulled pork here. And we, in our house, we like green sauce enchiladas. You can do green or red, either way. And I have a can of green sauce here because there's times where we're in a hurry and we'll just crack this can open and pour it on the meat and wrap the tortillas and throw it in the oven and call it a day. But we're going to take a little bit of extra time and we're going to make a scratch sauce today. So I have my blender here, and in this bowl I've got a few different peppers. I've got Anaheim's, jalapeno, and pasilla peppers. So we've got a few different peppers. We've got some lime, cilantro, garlic, onion, salt, pepper, cumin, and oregano. So a few things we got going on. And then also I have some tomatillos, which are basically like green tomatoes, or the cousin of tomato. But they have a husk on the outside of them. So if you buy those in the grocery store, that's what they'll look like. These are just canned and they're already soft. So, and then we also have some chicken broth that we're gonna add to this as well. So, a couple things. If you have a gas range like I have, you can just turn your burner on and put this pepper on top of this and let that get blistery. Or you can put these under the broiler. If you don't have a gas range, you can put them under the broiler and do that. The problem with that is that it's going to kick off a bit of smoke, and then it's also going to kind of smell a bit aggressive. So I have my barbecue, my kettle outside going, and I'm going to actually get my peppers on the kettle outside so I don't have to deal with all the smoke and the smell. So we're going to pause this. We're going to relocate outside, get our peppers on, and then we'll be back. Okay, we're back. We got our kettle. I have my little chimney here with my charcoal. This is hot. So we're just gonna get our there. Just drizzle with oil and onion, and I'm just gonna load these guys on here. There's no science or process to this. We just want to get them. Oh, just want to get them on here and get a little char on them. Whoa! And I also have a couple of onions here as well. So we got those on. I'm gonna put the lid on it, and then we'll check on these in a few minutes, and we'll come back, and when they're charred, we'll actually get them loaded back into this container with the lid. We'll be back. All right, so these have been going for about, 5 minutes, and you see we got some good little blisters on these, and they're softening up a little bit. We're gonna keep these on the heat until the skin is like really nearly black. All right, so I have my peppers all roasted. See, they're charred. So I'm going to throw these actually all into this little plastic container. It's like a Loctite one. Oh, I don't want to lose any now. So get these into here. These coals are hot. And then I have this lid right here, and I'll just snap this lid on. We'll let those steam a little bit and finish off in our container here. And then once they're cool to handle, we can peel them and get them into the blender. Okay, we have our peppers done and our onions. So that was on the grill, and those are, you can see the steam coming off of those, which is great. We need a little bit of garlic. We have our, again, tomatillos. These were canned. You can use fresh ones if you want. I just didn't see any that I liked at the store, so using canned ones today. And then I got some garlic. If you're doing this in your oven under the broiler, you can throw the garlic in at the same time. But I didn't because it was on the grill and I didn't want it to fall through the grates. So We have our garlic, and I'm just going to give this a quick little smash. You don't have to do a whole lot to this because the blender will do the work for us. So give this a little pop, and then we'll get these in. Peppers, or with our tomatillos. Oh, hi, welcome back. Scarlett's back. Everyone was wondering where you were. Can you hold that chicken stock for me? Hold the chicken stock. No, this is garlic. You might not like it. Okay, so we have that. And then we'll move over to our, let me get rid of this lid, we don't need it. I'm just gonna get our onion in. This is pretty hot actually. Get our onion in. Is that hot? Careful. And then we'll start working with our peppers. So you should be able to just kind of gently brush away that extra, or that outer layer of skin. See here how I'm doing that? I want to keep the pepper. These probably could have gone another minute on the grill, but we were losing daylight. So get most of that burnt flesh away, and then we're going to take the stem off as well. There's my garbage bowl. And then I also like to take out this hot. I also like to take the seed out. So we're going to do that with all of our peppers, and then we'll just get those right into the blender. So we're going to do the same thing with our jalapeños. See the charred outside just kind of comes right off. There's a little bit left on there, it's okay. So we have our peppers, garlic, onions, tomatillos. We're gonna add a little bit of chicken stock here. We'll start there, and then if I need to add more, I can. And then I'm also gonna add a little bit of oregano here, and a little bit of cumin. And then we'll do a little bit of salt and pepper. 2 pinches of pepper, 2 of salt. I didn't, when I bought my chicken stock, I always get the low sodium, because you can always add your own salt to it. So don't buy things like with butter and stuff. I always buy unsalted. All right, so we're gonna get this on, get this puree down. So I'm gonna get this to a saucepan, get it on medium-high heat, just to a simmer, reduce this down a little bit. While I'm doing that, I'll get my pork here in a saute pan and get that softened up so that we can add some of the sauce to it and start rolling this and putting it all together. Be back in a hot sec. All right, so I have to get my oven preheated. So oven at 350, I've got my green sauce back here, and I've got my saute pan. So I'm just gonna get this saute heated up, and then I'm gonna add just a little bit, sorry for the reach there, a little bit of oil here, a little drizzle. And then I'll get some of this pork, this pulled pork from our pig bowl into our pan and get that heated up, and then I'll add the sauce to it. All right, so we're gonna get our, this is again the pork butt I put on the smoker the other night. And then I'm just going to add in a few ladles of this green sauce, and I'm going to save some to go on top. And also in the bottom of the pan, I'm going to add some of this sauce in the bottom of the pan so that my tortillas don't stick. I'm going to break up any big chunks of meat here. Alright, so I'm going to cut the heat on that. I'm going to leave that on warm, and then we'll get reset back on the other side, start rolling these guys up. Use this knife. Got the one that was sealed. The corner's supposed to have a dog ear and open up, but it's not working. So, Scarlett's here. You guys can hear her practicing for the 2028 Olympics. I don't know, something. Okay, so we have this crumbly cheese. And you can run it through a cheese grater, or I'm just going to break it into little chunks here. And then you should be able just to crumble this cheese like that. If you run it through a cheese grater, you're going to end up just making a bigger mess than you need to. So I'm just going to crumble this. And I'll do a little bit here so you guys can see the size that I'm going. You don't want to go too small on this, but I mean, you know what cottage cheese looks like, so about that size for the little chunks. All right, so I have these corn tortillas, and I'm just doing them stacked. So 2 at a time on my griddle. You can do it in a saute pan as well if you want. I'm fortunate that I have this griddle, so I'm just doing them on that, just to soften these up. And then we'll start loading them up with our filling and with our sauce over here. So, we'll get these softened up. I'm just going to do, I don't know, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes on each side, just so they're pliable. Okay, so our tortillas are, I have in this towel right here. Not that you can see it because it's in the way, but I have in the towel. I've warmed them up, again, just to make them pliable, and then I just put them in that towel to help retain some of the heat. I've got my enchilada sauce, and I'm just going to throw a little bit in the bottom of my pan so that when this goes in the oven, they don't stick. This little extra one, this is the mother-in-law pan for her delivery, so we'll take some to her. She's always good about watching the kids for us, so food is a good bribery tool. All right, so I have my tortillas. I'm just going to grab a nice healthy sort of pinch full of the filling. And then this is the shredded pork with some of the sauce that we just made. I'm going to roll these up, and then I'm just going to start stacking them in my pan. So, roll, what is it? Fill, roll, repeat until this is all gone. All right, so we have those all loaded in there. Looks like Grandma's not going to get her own special deal, but that's okay. We'll just take some of ours, and we're going to just a little bit of sauce over the top. Not a ton, but enough just to cover these, and we don't want to drown it. Okay, so we have those, and then you can use like a blend of like cheddar and mozzarella or Mexican blend cheese or whatever. But we're gonna use this cheese here. A little sprinkle of that on top. I'm gonna save a little bit more just so we can put some fresh cheese on it when it comes out of the oven. All right, a good little layer where the enchiladas and the tortillas and the sauce is still kind of peeking through. I have my oven set to 350. I'm going to cover this with foil, and it's going to go in the oven for about 35 to 40 minutes, and then I'm going to take the lid off and turn the broiler on just to add a little caramelization, a little color to the top. So I'm going to do that for just a couple of minutes, but I'll keep an eye on it when that broiler hits, because I don't want to burn it and ruin all of my effort. So we'll get this in the oven, we'll get it wrapped, and then in the oven. We'll be back. Okay, we have had the enchiladas in the oven for about 35 minutes. We've got just a couple seconds to go. I'm going to switch this over from bake to broil. So the heat in bake is coming from the bottom, broil is coming from the top. So we're going to turn off our timer, turn broiler on, and then I'm going to take these out. As I mentioned, I put a foil over it. You want to be careful taking this foil off because it's going to kick a little bit of steam. You guys can maybe see, and steam burns don't feel good. So take that off. We have our enchiladas here, and as I mentioned again, I'm just going to put these in the oven under the broiler for just a couple of minutes. I'm going to keep an eye on it, and then we'll do one final take, and that'll be the end of it. So we'll get these back in the oven and we'll come back in a minute. All right, so those were in for about 3 minutes under the broiler, and now we have a nice little bit of color on top of those. Here's our timer. I did 2 minutes and then I rotated it. So we have those ready. I have some chopped up cilantro, a little sour cream, some plates, and then a to-go container for grandma. So we're gonna get these all plated up. I'll get a final picture of it and share with you guys, and then we're gonna hit the road over to, is it Orchards where grandma lives? I don't know, it's over by Costco. For me personally, the green sauce is the way to go if you're doing chicken or pork, red sauce if you're doing beef, whether it's shredded beef or ground beef. But experiment, do your own thing. Hope it turns out well, and we'll see you next time.